Hello and welcome to the program. This is Legally Speaking, a program in which we look at power, policies, and politics from the eyes of the law. My name still remains Chijoke Kano, your regular uncle. In today's program, we are going to look at the River State crisis from a different perspective. We're going to anchor it on the statement of the Attorney General of the Federation about Wike's position in the matter. The Attorney General came on air and talked about the fact that Wike cannot be blamed in any way. But we are going to get to all that when we come back from the break. Welcome. Yes, before we went on that short break, I was talking about what the Attorney General said concerning the position of Wike in the matter. He said that Wike cannot be found in anything, that the Supreme Court looked at all those facts. It was Wike that told Fubara to go and demolish the National State House of Assembly. Was it Wike that told Fubara to go and present budget to 3 persons or 4 persons, minority members of the State House of Assembly and stuff like that? But we believe that the Attorney General is right only in the realm of brutal legality of law. Beyond that, we believe that it would have been different. Now, Wike and Fubara had an agreement. There was an agreement. Nobody knew, or we pretended we didn't know, until Fubara came out and said, look, this agreement is suffocating me. I can't do it anymore. And then the trouble started. So Wike is working to enforce an agreement with Fubara. And Fubara is saying that agreement is killing me. So the issue is, what is that agreement? Is it legal? Is it enforceable? If it's not legal, are the two parties, Wike and Fubara, are they free from any criminal culpability? Our position here is that that agreement is unlawful, it's illegal, and that both parties to it cannot enforce it. Beyond that, if you enforce any part of it, it is still amounts to a criminal offense. First, the agreement is for Wike to have hand in the resources of the state after he stopped being a state actor in River State. The agreement is for Fubara to be remitting some money at the time from the coffers of the state. At the time they were going to this agreement or telling people to appoint as commissioner or whatever. But what Fubara said is that this is the money and this money is backbreaking. So at the time they were entering that agreement, both parties knew, Fubara knew, that the money they are talking about is not the money of Fubara. It is the money of the River State government and people. Now, that means the money that does not belong to any party to that agreement, but a third party who is not part of that agreement. Wike demands compliance to that agreement. Fubara is saying, no, I can't. But it's as our position here from Legally Speaking Studios that no, that agreement is a crime. First of all, it is meant to take money from the coffers of the state resources, which does not belong to any party to that agreement. Secondly, they knew that taking that money from the state resources is wrong. So the first issue is the agreement itself is conspiracy. You want to conspiracy to steal. If they have implemented part of that agreement, because I believe that Fubara was saying, oh, I've been giving it, I'm tired. The one they have given already amounts to stealing. So both parties to that agreement should be taken down on the issue of conspiracy to steal money belonging to government and people of River State, and actually stealing the money belonging to for the people, government and people of River State, for the one that has already been given. So if this is what started this problem, how can anybody say in the name of God and equity that Wike is a cent to the problem that is in River State? That is one of the problems we have in this country. The root cause of what we have in River State today was started by Wike and Fubara in their inglorious and illegal agreement. Of course, everybody knows that illegal agreements are not enforceable. So the Wike and Fubara ought to face prosecution. They ought to be investigated. They should bring that agreement, put it in the public space. Let us look at it. Let people talk about it. Take it to court. Take it to EFCC for investigation. Let us know how much they have taken already and how much they intended to take before the problem. So for me and for us here from these studios, AG may be right, but that, as we say, is brutal technicality. If we want to look for the root cause of this problem, we go to the agreement that people are trying to enforce. It's only there and then that we know exactly what has been done. And if we want to solve this problem, not just for River State and for other people, we look at the legal aspect of this agreement that is bringing this trouble, that is burning the state. Once in a while people say, I made him governor. Well, that is absurd. Legally speaking, it's absurd. You cannot say, no one person can say, I make you governor, because that statement means that you put him, whether the people like it or not, he became governor because of you, and therefore he is answerable to you. Hell no. If you campaign and won election by your resources, that is your business. But it's not supposed to pay you back from the resources of the state and the people of that state. So, taking to another level, if anybody try to enforce this kind of agreement that have brought us where we are in River State, both parties to the agreement ought to be arrested, ought to be investigated, and ought to be prosecuted. Nobody can sit in his house and say, when you get the resources of the state, then you bring it to me because I made you governor. It's a crime. It's a big crime. Whether we like it or not. No matter how we look at it, if Fubara and Wike brings the agreement they had to the public space, both of them must be and shall be liable to criminal trial. The object of that agreement is a crime. Clean and clear. Or if they say it's not true, let them bring the agreement. So both of them are culpable in what they wanted to do or what they have been doing. Because I think Fubara said I've been paying. Now it's difficult for me. So even the one that he has paid, apart from being a crime, the people that receive it are liable to refund it to the state from where it was stolen. If you don't do it this way, we continue to have this ugly scenario. Some people say I made you governor. Therefore, the resources of the state will be paid to me in this amount and in this amount. That is state capture. You know what I've been talking about? We can cease to be governor of Rivers State the day Fubara was sworn in. He is not entitled to anything from the state government apart from his pension, which he doesn't need his friend to pay him or somebody he puts to pay him. Put or quote unquote. Anybody who becomes governor, even if he had lost the election to APC at that point, APC governor is bound to pay. He's bound to pay. He's bound to pay him his entitlement. But the one they are talking about is not his entitlement. It's not his severance. Is the one. If it's severance, it is sorted out in the budget, and Fubara will pay it. But saying, give me this amount from the budget every month. They did it for some time and it became very difficult. And one person decided to kick the agreement. And what do we have? This carnage. So we are saying, if the government if we want as Nigerians to get to the end of this kind of scenario, what do we do? This is an opportunity for us to compel Wike and Fubara to tell us what the agreement is, to tell us the source, the object of that agreement, to tell us the source of executing that agreement, to tell us who owns the source of implementing that, executing that agreement. It's not enough. It's not enough to come and say, I will not pay anymore. Where you get it? But from Fubara, what Fubara said before this, when the disagreement started, it was clear that it was the government money of the government of Rivers State and people of Rivers State that they were using. They are all involved in this issue we're talking about. Money taken, money demanded, and the refusal to continue to give money. The purpose, we need to know the purpose. We need to know where they are getting that kind of money to give to somebody from a budget or from state resources every month. If Wike, I read something that Wike is saying, giving the condition for settlement. If he's not a party to this whole crisis, why would he bring a condition for? One of it is even that Fubara should not run a second term. And I was laughing and said, what kind of country are we running here? How can we determine who will run and who will not run? Beyond all this, the most important thing is it affects our people. It affects our resources. It's only in Nigeria that somebody stays in power. Somebody will finish from the university. He wins the election. 9 years later, he's a billionaire. Nobody says anything. Ask him what his business is. He says he's a politician. Only in Nigeria that people make money 9-10 years in politics consecutively, they become billionaires, and nobody asks them, nobody queries, how did he get this? Because what you earn as a politician, from local government to state government to national assembly for 10 years, to senate, to governor, even to president, for 8, we can calculate it and give you how much you are supposed to earn. We can calculate it and say, this is what you are supposed to earn. But we see people buying houses here and there in America, all over the place. People who are ordinary politicians. That is why every government here is good to the politicians. They are the tribe that are comfortable in every regime. They are not like the ordinary Nigerians who follow the gallop of change of power. No. If you meet a politician today and ask him, he'll tell you everything is fine. and it's fine. Their salaries does not go down, it goes up. Some of them also have connections, like what is happening between Fubara and Wike, to continue to take money from the state coffers, even when they have ceased being state actors in that state. I made you governor. That's what we suffer here every day. And until we move to stop and to deal with it in the spirit of the law, we will continue to have this problem. Wike has made all sorts of statements. Fubara has made all sorts of statements. So whether they are having had a contract or not is not an issue. It's a common ground of all parties. They know they do. And Fubara knew he cried out at a point and said, look, this thing is killing me. And I read recently when he's saying that his problem with Wike set him free, which means he thought he was in bondage. That agreement was a bondage for him. But it was a crime against us, against the people of Nigeria, against the people of Rivers State particularly. And somebody is running up and down to enforce that inglorious agreement, that criminal agreement, that illegal agreement, that wrongful agreement. It's not possible. And we cannot stop until we put people to prison on issues like this. It's not possible. We are not going to stop. We continue to fight. If we wait for them, they did not do anything, we take it up. They must give us that agreement that brought this problem. Wike, bring your own copy. Fubara, bring your own copy. Fubara has said his own. Everybody knows that it's the money they say he will not give anymore. Do they have the right to do that? Can they pay Wike money from state resources every month? No matter how big, no matter how small, is he entitled to it? Apart from what he gets from severance, can he take any other money? He cannot. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the legal right. It's a criminal offense. The same thing for Fubara, who takes the money that belongs to the people and gives to somebody else. He has committed an offense. Not even impeachable offense. He has committed an offense that will put him into serious prosecution. And everybody is talking about it as if it's only, they are saying, oh, there's an agreement. I saw somebody, agreement is an agreement. Agreement is not an agreement. And although agreement to commit an offense is a crime. When people say agreement is agreement, it's all over the place. Agreement is agreement. When Wike and the Fubara, they make the agreement, were we there? No. That agreement is against all of us. Agreement is not agreement. If agreement to commit a crime is an offense, or agreement will lead to committing of a crime, it's an offense. And that's what these people have done.